Hello, you're most welcome. It's Henry the Computer Guy, and in this video, I'll show you how you can use Flashback Express 5 to capture the screen of your computer or when you're presenting some items to the audience. So now, first of all, you have to identify where your Flashback actually is, because in the previous video, I showed you how you can download it, how you can install it, and how you can make some simple settings. So you have to be able to download and install it in the beginning. So for us, we have already installed it and it is just down here. So we are going to double click on it so that it can open our Flashback Express 5. And finally, it has opened our Flashback Express. So now, before we even make any change on our Flashback Express 5, some computers actually have some noise they make, the system noise they always make. So first of all, we are going to make that setting for the computer. You'll come to your speaker down here, then you right click on it and come to the recording devices. So when I come to the recording devices, I'll come and there are many items here. We have the playback, we have the recording, we have sound, communication, but I'm interested in the recording because I'm going to be recording my information. So I'll come and select my microphone. When I select my microphone, I'll come to the properties. So I'll come here, then I'll come and look for the levels. And when I come to the levels, there is this microphone that is actually capturing my voice, and there is this microphone booster. This actually is the noise for the system or for the computer. For example, the fan is actually making some noise. It will be appearing in your in your presentation or in your video. So that means that you have to change this to a 0.0 decibels. It has to be 0. So if you always increase this, it will be making some of the system noise from your computer. So it has to be maintained at 0. So that is it. Then you can come back to your other settings. So what do you exactly want to record? For example, I want to record the full screen, the region. You can, let's say the window, you can pick any. But for our case, we are going to be using the full window. Then you have to select the microphone. Remember, if you don't select the microphone, your recording will not be having audio. So you have to select it such that it gives you, or it captures, or it gets the audio that you're actually using when you're presenting your information. And also down here we have what we call the webcam. You want someone to look at you as you're presenting, you can change that option from here. You can check it. It will be activating your camera such that people can see you. Then up here we have what we call the recordings, and this is where your recordings will be. And in case you want to access them and play them, you'll be accessing them from there, as we are going to be seeing. So we can close that. We can also have the timer. For example, you want to set some time for your recordings, but we don't need it. Then we can also have the settings, and I think I remember talking about these ones. If we go there a little, you can please come on the window and say, for example, minimize the Flashback Express 5 when recording. It will go down when you start recording. And where is it going to be minimized? For example, down here, it will put a timing for you. That will be the floating bar. If it goes to the icon tray, then it will be accessed via this option. So you can pick any that you feel you want. Then another thing is specifically on the sound. We have actually activated them the other side, webcam the other side. Then we can come and talk about the hotkeys. So these are some of the keys you can use actually in your Flashback Express. Let's say use them as shortcuts. If you don't want always to click on it, you can, let's say, put an item here. Let's say F2 for recording. Let's say F3 for, let's say, stopping the recording, pausing, and others. The way you feel you want to use them. But for my case, I'm not going to use them. You can try them and see if they can work for you. Then you can say, okay. So now we want to begin recording. Let me minimize this one and show you where it has gone. Now it has gone to the icons tray because it's where we told it to go. So it is finally there. So now we want to start creating something. So we have to first of all start our recording. Let me click the start. So I will click on it here. Then I'll say record. So when it comes, it will tell you that I'm going to start recording your content. So that is it specifically. So now you can begin your presentation. For example, I'm going to use Microsoft Word to create something from so I'm going to open it. It's actually going to be a blank document, and that is the content I'm actually having. I can say, let's say, get some dummy text here. I can say equals, let's say equals array and that is the rand function. Give me some dummy text there. Let's say I can say 4,5, and I close the bracket, I press enter. So it has given me some of the information like this. I can even make some changes here. Let me put it Times New Roman. I can leave it as that. Maybe I want to put a heading into my work. I'll come, let's say, introduction. Assuming that it's the heading that I was going to put, introduction to, let's say, ICT. So we can put this one in the middle. We can as well say we want to put it here. We increase the size. We give it some color, and let's say we come to this one. We put come to the page layout. We can put some columns there. For example, 2, and that is it specifically. If I wanted to put an image, then I can as well come and say insert. I look for the image I want to put there. Let me get it from my desktop. If I have one, let me scroll through. I can put Henry the computer guy there. So it will come to my work. I can make it smaller. I can even wrap it, double click on it, then you can even give it actually a position, or you can even wrap it. So you can even come and say I want to modify it in let's say in this format, just like that. You can select that option. You can even come and wrap it if you feel you want, let's say let me say tight, or I can even make it square, just like that. So assuming that this is what you wanted to present to your, let's say, your people or your students, that is it exactly. So you can now stop the recording. For example, you come down to your icon tray, then you come and say I want to stop my presentation. So I'll click on stop, just like that. It will stop the presentation, and it will ask you, you have a recording, what do you want to do on it? For example, you want to play it, you want to save it, you want to delete it. So for me, I want to save the recording, and it will ask me for the folder where I can record it. I can say, let's say I call it let's say presentation. I call it presentation. Then I'll come and say I'm going to save. Remember, it is going to be saved in my tutorials, then in FFB recording. So we shall go and visit it from there. So we can even close this or minimize this and come back. So having done that, it will save our recording. And now we have to access that recording. For example, I will come to the recordings. You'll come and see it here. Presentation. But remember, you may need to actually put it in other softwares. So you have to change the format it is in. Remember, it is a presentation.fbr. So we can change it to any other format. For example, the MP4 and other formats the way you want. So that means that we have to export it. So I'm going to click on export such that it can be visible in other softwares. I'm going to export it to MP4. So I'll come here and say I want it to MP4. Then I'll come and say OK. Then it will tell me that it is going to export it. So it will ask me for the location where I'm going to put it, and I'm going to save it in let's say, let me go to documents, and I'll come to, let's say, flashback movies. I'm going to save it there. So I'll come and say OK and give it that name. So you give it time to export as you're looking at it. You're also seeing the progress. It is exporting our video, and it's going to be okay for other softwares to be used in that case. So you give it some little time to export, and remember, the exporting depends on the size of the video. When the video is large, then it will take long. If the video is small, then it will take a little time. And you have to make your videos at least shorter for the size to be very small also, such that when you're sharing them, they can be easily shared. And don't worry, if you make any mistake, you can also use another software to remove or edit that video. And if size also goes beyond, we can also use another software to reduce its size. And we are going to see that in this video. So let's open where it is and we see. So finally, our video has been put here. We can even play it and see by double clicking on it. So that is exactly, it works. So now, having made that, we can now close these ones because we no longer need them. So I'm going to close them, and we see how we can convert that video to another format someone needs. Now, having done that video, you're going to download a software called Handbrake. Handbrake is a software that can compress some videos. For example, they have a larger size, you can reduce the size. And in this case, I have it on my computer, so I'll open it. So it is called Handbrake. It can help you to reduce the size of all your videos. And this is how it will open. We look for our video and drag and drop it there. Let's drag. Remember, we are going to look at the size. So the size is 8.7 now. So if we put it there, we shall see how the size will become. Let's drag it and drop it there. You can even minimize this one. And we come. So I want to specifically put it on YouTube. I can put it in the format of Gmail large 3 minutes. I can select that, then I'll select where it has to go. And I'm going to save it on my documents where we saved the other one already. Flashback movies, and it is going to be, let me call it presentation 2. Because I don't want it to be with the same name like the other one. Presentation, we call it presentation 2, just like that, and I say save. So I can click on the word start encode. So you're seeing down here now the progress of our video converting. It is having that progress. So it is now being reduced in size. If at all it was let's say over 100 MBs, it can as well be brought to a smaller size. I don't know how much, but it can as well bring it to a smaller size such that you can be able to share it over, let's say, some networks, or over, you put it over YouTube when it uses less of your data. It is there, and it also depends on the size of a video. If the video is too large, then it will take some bit of time to reduce the size of that video. So it is soon finishing our compression. So it specifically reduces the size of your video that you have created, and we are going to see how the difference comes in. So you give it time, and that's the progress. It is finally it is done. We are going to look at it in our document. So we shall come and say start. We come to our PC or computer. We look for where we saved it, where it is documents, then under flashback movies, and we called it presentation 2. You look at the size now, it is 7. So here it was having, say, 8 point that. So it's just because it is close to each other. That's why you've not seen or noticed a bigger change. But if it was very big, then you would notice the change. That is it specifically. So it's been Henry the computer guy, and I've been actually showing you how you can use Flashback Express 5 and Handbrake to compress the video that you have actually created. Bye bye, I sign out.